Good evening, I'm Jacob Reimer. Ohio State freshman forward Amari Bynum confirmed today that he will be returning to Columbus for his sophomore season. Bynum averaged nearly 10 points and 5 rebounds per game in his first season as a Buckeye. The Final Four in the NCAA Women's Tournament will be finalized tonight. A pair of games starting in Fort Worth with top-seeded Texas taking on Michigan. In Sacramento, number 1 South Carolina squares off with TCU. In baseball, the Reds are back in action at Great American Ballpark hosting the Pittsburgh Pirates. Chase Burns will take the hill for Cincinnati. First pitch is at 6:40. The Guardians will remain out west for a series with the Los Angeles Dodgers. Parker Messick gets the start for Cleveland, and they get started at 10:10. And in the NBA, the Cleveland Cavaliers are in Utah taking on the Jazz. Tip-off is at 9 o'clock. This update sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit online at sleepbettercolumbus.com. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
From Learfield, this is the Buckeye Roundtable Show presented by Burger King and brought to you statewide by the American Dairy Association Mideast and Cova Insurance, Window Nation, and by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers on the Ohio State Sports Network presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics. Now here's your host, Skip Mossick.
And hi again, everybody. Welcome into another Buckeye Roundtable show as we fill in for Brandon Beam the next couple of weeks. Beam's welcomed in another Buckeye into the world, Benjamin Beam, born late last week. Congratulations to Brandon, his wife Meredith, new big brother William. Awesome stuff. We will do our best to hold serve until he gets back. We're coming off a one-week hiatus. Last week, we made room for Ohio State women's basketball. Unfortunately, their season came to an end last Monday. We'll chat about that later this hour with Tyler Danberg as the women's Final Four is almost set. And on the men's side, the Final Four is set. Illinois, Arizona, Michigan. And how about the ending of the UConn-Duke game last night? UConn with the unreal comeback. Jacob Reimer producing tonight as always. We're 3 for 4 in this room. How about over there?
Let's see. I did 2. So my main bracket, I'm 1 for 4. My other one, I'm 3 for 4, though.
How about the ending to the UConn-Duke game?
Oh, my gosh.
Have you seen anything like that?
No, that was truly unbelievable. That's the magic of March right there. 19-point comeback from UConn, and then just needed the perfect bounce of the ball to happen for them, and they got it. That's a heck of a shot from Braylon Mullins.
UConn trying to foul. They can't. They don't. And Duke doesn't have to do anything. They just have to hold the ball.
If Duke's trying to break the press, they did it perfectly. They moved it around. They avoided it. They were playing keep away, and then just had the tip off right there, and then Mullins stepped up.
Unreal. We will talk Final Four, some Buckeye off-season hoops news with our Ron Stokes later this hour. News yesterday about Devin Royal hitting the portal. More news on the good side today. Ronnie will join us in just a bit, and we'll see how surprised he was about that news. Also, spring football obviously in full swing. We will hear from Jim Lachey, get some of his thoughts from being out and seeing practice. We're just 2 weeks away from the Masters, but before we get there, this week is the Augusta National Women's Am. Ohio State senior Kari Hollenbaugh will be making a return trip to Augusta this week. It's always cool to see. Hollenbaugh and the Buckeyes finished 5th in a strong field down in Clemson this past weekend. She headed there to Augusta, where she continued her practice today. We'll chat with Hollenbaugh about how special this is later in the show. The baseball Buckeyes had a really good weekend in Minnesota. Ohio State got a sweep to improve to 4-5 in the Big Ten. Level at 13-13 overall. Tyler Danberg will chat with Justin Hare in the dugout. Buckeyes begin a long homestand this week at Bill Davis Stadium, beginning tomorrow. Hopefully some good weather. So a busy couple of hours ahead. Stay with us. We'll have some fun with you this evening. But spring football takes center stage this time of year, as it always does. The Ohio State football spring game Saturday, April 18th at Ohio Stadium. Our network coverage that day will begin at 11:45 a.m. Tickets are available at ohiostatebuckeyes.com. Coming up, we'll hear from players and coaches and more in our spring football sound off as the Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
More of Buckeye Roundtable presented by Burger King coming up on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Whatever happens today, take it on with a fresh cup of True Brew coffee. Now only $1 with True Rewards. True North Store's True Brew coffee is a hot, flavorful gourmet blend created from coffee beans from around the world. As a free True Rewards member, pick the size that is perfect for you and pay only $1. Don't have the True Rewards mobile app? Find it in the Apple or Google Play Store to download and save instantly. True North convenience stores. Fast, friendly, clean.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, two-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer both on and off the court. That's why Encova Insurance and their local independent agents are prepared for what's next and protect what matters most to you. Whether that's your home, car, business, or family, Encova's got your back with a policy that fits you perfectly. With local independent agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova's playbook is an easy win for your peace of mind. Basketball is full of challenging shots, and life can be too. With Encova, you don't have to do it alone. Your expert agent will guide you and provide insurance solutions so you can confidently manage your risk and count on a financially secure future. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you. Encova is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
Imagine yourself in a new Toyota, like a stylishly affordable Corolla. Now through March 31st, get 4.99 APR financing on a new 26 Corolla, Corolla Hybrid, or Corolla Cross. Excludes GR Corolla. Or lease a new gas-powered Corolla LE for $199 a month for 36 months with $36.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
American Electric Power is a proud sponsor of Buckeyes Care.
Hi, I'm Janelle Coleman with American Electric Power. At AEP, we're proud to support our communities, powering progress and creating opportunities every day. Our partnership with Buckeyes Care reflects a shared commitment to uplifting Central Ohio through service, connection, and care. Together, we are building a brighter future for everyone we serve.
For over 37 years, Buckeye Nation has known Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse for serving the best steaks in the city. Our thick-cut, aged steaks are a staple in Columbus, with 3 locations in Upper Arlington, Dublin, and downtown. And just like the Buckeyes, we strive for excellence and an experience like no other. Hyde Park is proud to introduce the newly added wine room at our downtown Columbus location, where a new elegance in dining surrounds you, creating the ideal setting for any occasion or the perfect night out. Hyde Park is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
Your home of the Buckeyes. The Fan. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
And welcome back, everybody, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show presented by Burger King, where you rule. Skip Mossick in for Brandon Beam. The Ohio State football spring game preview show will be Thursday, April 16th from 6 to 7 p.m. Paul Keels and Jim Lachey will be joined by Coach Ryan Day, a couple of assistants, and more as they get you set for the spring football game on April 18th. That's the spring game preview show, Thursday, April 16th, 6 to 7 p.m. here on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
It's time now for Buckeye Roundtable's Ohio State football spring sound-off.
Lots of sound from Ohio State spring practice. Coaches' comments are presented by Kroger. We'll start on the defensive side. New one-year defensive coordinator Matt Patricia on the physical transformation he's seen from linebacker Garrett Stover.
Well, certainly, give him all the credit in the world, right? He came and blew the doors off the offseason program. It was awesome to watch him be able to do that, work real hard, change his body, change just all of the work that he put into himself, but then really, build the confidence behind it. I think a lot of it is, look, we got a lot of really good players, but sometimes it's just you just need a little bit of that confidence about it, to go out there, because some of them have sat maybe for a year behind better players, and sometimes that happens, it takes a little bit of a while to get back into that rhythm of like, oh yeah, like I know how to, I can do this. And so that's the biggest part of it for me is he just has momentum of his confidence right now, and you see it, you saw it, we'll watch the tape today, but Tuesday, there were some really nice plays in there where it was like, he probably wasn't making those plays last year. It was just kind of almost like the light bulb came on. It was a really savvy play. He had 3 of them that were really nice. So you love seeing that.
A lot of guys looking good on that side of the ball. Matt Patricia on if it's easier this season, year 2, knowing the players a little bit better.
You know, I would say I probably always operate in a extreme urgency, like we don't have it mindset. I think that's kind of like, for me, I'm never, oh yeah, we're good. Like, you know, I kind of actually always go back. Doc Rivers was great, you know, when he was out in Boston with us and we would spend time together, and he had this whole thing with, they went through some different years with the Celtics, and, you know, he had this saying, it was like, don't let good get in the way of great, you know, and it was like one of those things where the year before they were always trying to be great, 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 and then the next year it was like, hey, did you do this? No, I'm good. Did you do this? No, I'm good. And then, like, it was just a whole mindset of like, well, good will get in the way of being great. So, like, we always want to be great.
Over to the offensive side of the ball, new wide receiver coach Cortez Hankton on filling the shoes of Brian Hartline.
First and foremost, I love winning and I love being the best. And so as a competitor, that's not going to change. And so when you walk into a place where the culture is already set, it becomes easy. Because when you're coaching young men who embrace being coached, embrace doing the hard things every single day, you know, there's always going to be an opportunity for growth and development.
Hankton on his thoughts on just the Ohio State football program.
Well, I've always respected and admired this program because of the rich tradition and culture. But when you walk into the building, you truly start to understand why this place has been able to sustain this level of success. You know, what Coach Day has done in terms of really creating the culture and the brotherhood, and also coming from a space of tough love, it's been fun to embrace. It's been fun to embrace because what happens is you just, you know, I was able to step in that room and keep it rolling.
Again, receivers coach Hankton on what it's like coming in and inheriting a very special player like Jeremiah Smith.
It's a blessing. I'm grateful. I'm thankful. You know, he's a generational talent. But more importantly, he's a fine young man. He's a great kid. And he yearns to learn football. He yearns to be coached. And he's like that every single day. He's been a sponge. You know, we've put a lot on his plate, but he's handled it well.
And speaking of Jeremiah, he was asked about the last game in the Cotton Bowl and putting that critical Miami interception on himself.
I feel like we started off pretty slow, started to pick things up towards the end, but you know, it was probably too late at that point. But something coming into the year, something that's been in the back of my mind, especially about that play that happened. You can say that play is on me, and something I'm going to learn for sure. It's a humbling moment, and just coming in this offseason. So I'm going to push myself to exhaustion and never make that play happen again.
And, Reimer, we hear this in every sport, football, basketball, you name it. Despite all the coaching in the world, it's up to the players to make plays, and they're the ones that do it.
Yeah, and you always got to be thinking next play, too. It doesn't matter about what just happened. Like there's still a lot of game left. You got to be able to step up and make another big play when it's needed.
We saw that in college basketball, end of game scenarios, and you know, guys, they always say that, you know, players, they become different. You know, they see that clock and things, they start to lose their mind a little bit. And, you know, we talked UConn, Connecticut a little bit ago. We had, you know, the end of the Florida game. You've got so many end of games. Nebraska end of game.
Oh my goodness!
It's up to the players to make plays at certain times.
Like you mentioned there with UConn and Duke, like Caden Boozer, like that was. You're going to look to him on that final play, and I mean, yeah, maybe Duke still has a timeout in the bag that you can use and save that from happening, but still kind of, I know it's a pressure situation, but stay under control, and you got to be thinking what are my options here.
Back to football now, staying on offense, new offensive coordinator Arthur Smith saying the first thing he looks for when learning and teaching a new offense.
Just looking for the personality of the players that are coming back, you know, getting a feel for it, you know, what they've been running, you know, where you think the skill sets are. I mean, some of it's obvious. I mean, you know the talent level from afar, but you're looking at it comparatively to your top competition. So really it was looking at the guys that we have coming back, kind of learning the schemes, what they've been taught, what they ran a lot of, like what were their kind of go-to. I mean, there's a lot going on, and you try to be objective and not rush to judgment. I mean, that's easy to sit back. I wasn't here, you know, and you can get cynical or get too critical, and that's kind of the easy thing to do. But just the purpose was to get a feel for what they know. Really the talent we have coming back, their personalities, their characteristics.
And much like Matt Patricia answered a year ago, Arthur Smith was asked as far as going from dealing with veterans in the NFL to college students.
In my career, I've been lucky. I've probably had more quarterbacks than anybody. So I've had guys that are rookies, and then I had Aaron last year, who's my age. So I've had him at every end of the spectrum. So obviously these guys are closer to all of the rookies I've coached. It's a very mature group. I mean, I knew that just from the kind of type of character and the guys that, I've been around. We had Will Howard last year. I had Justin Fields. We drafted Jack Sawyer. I had Jeff Okudah in Atlanta. We traded for, drafted Zach Harrison. Coach Day's done a great job, not only getting great players, but great people in here. And that's made it fun, too. I mean, take a guy like Julian. There's a lot he can handle, and I think he's very mature, very intelligent, and so it's been fun to work with him.
And last thing, Coach Arthur Smith, on if there's such a thing as giving the ball too much to somebody like Jeremiah Smith.
No, I mean, I got asked that if I gave the ball too many times to Derrick Henry, and I'd argue that I didn't. I mean, Derrick, I think, carried the ball more than anybody in the postseason run in 19. Seen him on film and heard a lot about him, but getting to know him, I'm just really impressed with his mindset. I mean, he doesn't feel like you're dealing with a college player. He feels like a veteran to me. What I appreciate about him is he's got great humility for somebody that's that talented and has had the success he's had. You understand that he's a unique weapon, but he's a great person. I've enjoyed my conversation with him and just trying to help him expand his game because I think the potential is, limitless.
And with so much talent that Ohio State has offensively, especially at the wide receiver position, it's one thing that it's easy to get in the back of your mind. Fans are saying it. We're saying it up in the booth sometimes. Get the ball to Jeremiah Smith.
Well, yeah, and you got Brandon Ennis coming back for another big year. Yes. He was a captain last year. What Chris Henry's going to be able to give you. My question is, though, you've got Matt Patricia, who now has basically a whole new defense, and a lot of people want to look to Arthur Smith of who has the most pressure of the two coordinators. Arthur Smith coming into the college game, while Matt Patricia has a whole new defense to fill out. That's going to be interesting to see when we get to the season.
They'll banter back and forth. They'll both say, "I have the most pressure." That's right there. Again, spring football and coaches' comments were presented by Kroger. Kroger Pickup is the easy way to get what you want right when you need it. Try Kroger Pickup today in the Kroger app or at Kroger.com. Coming up, we will branch out a little bit with our college football pulse. We'll keep things in state this week and chat with new Ohio Bobcat coach John Hauser. And was there a Ryan Day sighting down in Athens? That and more as the Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
You're listening to Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, Ohio State fans, are you looking to score big with your home equity? Union Home Mortgage will help you unlock the value of your home and fund the promises you've made to yourself and your family. If you need to pay off debt, have home improvements, or whatever your family needs are, visit UHM.com and score financial freedom with Union Home Mortgage, the official home lending sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Union Home Mortgage Corp. is an equal housing opportunity lender and MLS number 2229.
There's one medical team in Central Ohio skilled enough to care for your favorite Ohio State team, and Buckeyes everywhere. The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center is your choice for the most highly specialized orthopedic and sports medicine care. Our surgeons, physicians, and physical therapists have access to the most advanced treatments and innovative recovery approaches to get you back in your game. Because on or off the field, our team is your team. The choice for your orthopedic care is clear.
It doesn't matter if you're playing hard or working hard. Your workout only works out if you recover right. Chocolate milk helps you recover for what comes next. It's delicious and contains the right mix of protein and carbs to help refuel exhausted muscles. From biking to bench presses, Milk's protein helps you build lean muscle and gain more from your workouts.
Ready, recover, repeat. Brought to you by the American Dairy Association Mideast, a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
AEP Energy wants to know if you're ready to say goodbye to higher rates and hello to savings. Get your energy costs under control by locking in a fixed rate for your electricity supply. You'll lower your bills and get price protection from rising rates. Take control and lock in a low fixed rate. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. AEP Energy is a competitive retail electrical and natural gas service provider and affiliate of Ohio Power Company, AEP Ohio. AEP Energy is not soliciting on behalf of and is not an agent of AEP Ohio. Ohio.
Enjoy more ways to save at Kroger, like low prices in every aisle. And when you download the Kroger app, you can clip and save more with digital coupons every week. Plus, you can earn fuel points to save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. At Kroger, you can enjoy more ways to save and more rewards every time you shop. So it's always easy to save big every day with savings and rewards. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Savings may vary by state. Fuel restrictions apply. See site for details.
Buckeye fans, this is for you. Level up with the brand new AAA Buckeyes MVP membership. You'll receive all the benefits of AAA, such as 24/7 roadside assistance, plus chances to win tickets to Ohio State sporting events, access to exclusive MVP experiences, along with 10% off select gear at the Ohio State team shop. Already a AAA member? Add the Buckeyes MVP membership for free. Head to AAA.com/Buckeyes to upgrade or join the squad and put your fandom in drive.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State athletics.
And welcome back, everybody, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show presented by Burger King, where you rule. Skip Mossick in for Brandon Beam. Buckeye fans, say goodbye to higher rates and hello to savings with a fixed price plan with AEP Energy. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State athletics.
It's time for the College Football Pulse on Buckeye Roundtable.
And keeping things in states for this week's College Football Pulse, joined for a few minutes by new Ohio Bobcat coach John Hauser. And John, first of all, congrats on getting the head coaching job down there at Ohio. You've been doing this a long time, a handful of stops along the way. Was getting to this position as a head coach here at the D1 level part of the career path you had in mind?
Yeah, I mean, I think I was always kind of doing the job I was doing. I had thought about being a head coach really most recently since I got to Ohio, being around Tim Albin and how he kind of operates. I knew then at that point, once I got here, that was something that I wanted to do. But honestly, as a coach coming up, I really just wanted to be a coordinator for years and kind of run that side of the ball. But yeah, I guess I would have been 40, 42 when I got here, and that was kind of when I started really thinking about being a head coach.
You know, John, as mentioned, you've been doing this for a while. Who were some of your mentors through the years? And I guess what have some of those conversations been like with them since you got the head coaching position down there in Athens?
Yeah, I mean, there's numerous. Joe Fincham, I played for at Wittenberg. I've talked to him since I've been in coaching. I don't know. I'd say the talks have changed a little bit now since I'm the head coach and he has years of experience doing it. Definitely Coach Fincham is somebody that I talk to often. Joe Novak I think my first job was at Northern Illinois and around a bunch of really good coaches, Coach Novak and, you got Scott Schaefer, Matt Canada, Sam Pittman, just to name a few, really, that I was around at a very young age. And I felt like Coach Novak really, taught me how to run a program, what you want it to look like. And both of those guys had a lot of very similarities, just the toughness, the playing hard, all those things. Going on from Paul Winters at Wayne State, Kevin Higgins at the Citadel, and then Chuck at Miami. I mean, I think you take something from everybody you work for and work with when you get in a position like this.
John, what were the biggest changes you had to make, whether it be staff, roster retention, or anything else since you officially got the job after your bowl win?
I think it was just hitting the portal with the ground running. I got the job the 26th of December, and the portal opened January 2nd, so it was all hands on deck. I had to replace a couple coaches right away, so it took some time with some of them, but some I had to get here immediately just because of the portal positions, and trying to bring guys in without a position coach is really hard. So, I mean, I don't know that I drastically changed anything right away, but just the we have this one portal cycle now. So it was, our general manager left the day I got the job, and it was all hands on deck to get the best players and people in this program. By that, we had to get kids here. It was that 2 weeks, that Friday, January 12th, we had to have kids here and enrolled by then. So it was a race in those 10, 12 days.
We're chatting with Ohio coach John Hauser here on the College Football Pulse on Buckeye Roundtable. And, John, like many, spring ball got underway recently. How have the first few practices gone, with you now in your new role? And I guess how challenging is it to get guys, both players and coaches, to embrace your way of doing things?
I'll tell you what, we have great kids here. We have a lot of kids that have been in our program for numerous years. So getting the kids to buy in, we've won here. We've won 40 games the last 4 years. So the guys in our program know what it takes. Now a lot of them haven't been that primary role that they're going to have possibly this year. So, but I mean, doing things the right way here, we're a player-led organization. And of course we give them a ton of guidance in that, but we have kids that are bought into the program. And getting the transfers here, we have 9 mid-year freshmen, and I give those guys credit too, because they have really blended into the culture. I talk about this in the recruiting process. You're going to become us. We're not going to become you, and just having a little bit of humbleness to you. And it's been a really good spring as far as just buy-in and guys doing what we want them to do and what we know is going to be successful.
John, we saw that you had an interesting guest at your very first spring practice in Ohio State, Coach Ryan Day. It's not what some might think, but tell us how that came about. It was still a pretty cool photo with him being there on day one for you.
Yeah, that was the first day of spring practice. Coach Isfordine told me the day before. He has a son that's a guy that we're recruiting. I think I'm allowed to say that. Mm-hmm. And, he ended up coming to practice. That was my first spring practice. So he was great, honestly. I got to pick his brain a little bit. He was very open, really just tried to stay in the background, which I understand. But I got to talk to him one-on-one quite a bit, and he gave me some good nuggets. Moving forward as a first-time head coach, he went through this in 2019 as the offensive coordinator at Ohio State. And obviously – I think people that have been in your shoes and are very successful, like Coach Day, are really good references to talk to, especially with how willing he is to give information. So yeah, that was, I said, okay, the first day we got Ryan Day coming, but every day, there's always somebody there that, whether it's a big booster or a top recruit, there's always distractions. I give our guys credit. We've had a really good first 6 practices. We've had to restart, I think, one just for lack of energy to start the practice. But that first day they're humming, ready to go. So we've been into it.
John, we've seen conference realignments nationwide, and the Mid-American Conference is no different. Your schedule was just announced recently. It includes a trip to Sacramento State in mid-October. It's not your typical MAC road game that we've seen in the past. What all had to be done budget-wise, I guess, from the conference? I mean, it's not inexpensive going West Coast. It'll be the same, obviously, for them coming east.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe there's, they put a lot of money into this thing to get in this league, and I know they're paying our travel out there this first year. I'm not sure moving forward what the arrangement will be. So that's nice. I mean, that's a free away game for us that we don't have to pay for. But obviously it's right in the middle of our season, and it's a long trip, depending on when that game is and when we get back and all those factors. Do I want to go out to California and take that long trip? But hey, nothing better for this group. I mean, it's never easy, right? And we'll have some film on them at that point in the middle of the season. So I'll tell you what, it'll be a good trip for our guys. We have some guys from that area too that are from that Sacramento area. So it'll be cool for a lot of our West Coast guys to get to play out there in that market.
John, you talk to any coach across the country, they'll all tell you the same thing. Roster retention and creation are now such a big part of college football. What are the biggest challenges you'll face there at a place like Ohio, not only to get guys there, but to keep them?
Yeah, I think we got to be somewhat content with, Ohio State's taken 2 of our tight ends the last 3 years. We're not going to probably win that battle consistently at all, so we got to have a plan in our development. We're a developmental program from the Coach Solich days. I know that, so I think you just have to really address every room, knowing that during the season we're going to have an idea of who the guys are that are going to be high dollar targets on our team, and just making sure that we're getting those rooms to the level that we need to win a MAC championship. And it looks different in every room every year, right? We got some DBs that have been in our program for a while that we feel like are ready to take that next step and play. And then if you have a gap where you feel like, this guy may not be exactly ready, we're going to replace him with a portal guy. But we're gonna definitely be committed to the high school recruiting model. The last couple of years we've had really good classes, right? Just with the numbers of portal guys that are getting taken by the P4 guys, the talent is there for us. It's better than ever. So we got to get high school guys in here. We got to develop them a little faster than probably we have in the past before the portal. But like I said, we had 9 guys here mid-year, so their development is already sped up. And I'm not telling guys they got to come early. I think that's an individual decision, but that's a tool we can use to help speed up some of these kids' development process.
John, last thing along those lines, how do the midweek Maction games that ESPN came up with years ago, while non-traditional for many, especially at the time, maybe help, though, in visibility, when you go to recruit guys either out of high school or in the portal?
Yeah. I think everybody's kind of jumped onto it nowadays. Everybody's playing during the week. I think it's very unique. It gives us the ability to recruit anywhere. We're the only game on some nights, so we have kids from all over the country. You walk into high school down in Florida, whatever, Massachusetts, California, Texas, right? They know MAC football. They know our brand, our team, and that it's a huge advantage in recruiting. It's a little bit tough on our kids with the classes and things. They got to be on point, but it's kind of a nice change up for us as well to kind of switch our schedule later in the season. We practice on the weekends, gives our kids a chance to kind of get out of here some on the weekend, and gives our coaches a chance to have a little bit more time at home on the weekends because we always go in the morning. So it's a good change. I think we're used to it at this point, and it's a great tool for us. Everybody can see us.
Ohio head coach John Hauser, just one of the many favorite sons of Bishop Hartley High School. Coach, all the best to you and your team this season, okay?
I appreciate it, Skip. Thanks.
Good dude, John Hauser. Wish him the best down in Athens. Was interesting to hear the Ryan Day story, first spring practice, and boy, look who's coming through the door. Coming up, we will switch gears, talk some college basketball, some Ohio State news from yesterday and today, and the men's Final Four is set. We will run the fast break with former Buckeye Ron Stokes as the Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
This is Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, Ohio State fans. Next time that snack craving hits, Burger King has you covered with the O-Fry O bundle. You get a medium fry, 8-piece chicken fries, 8-piece mozzarella fries, and an 8-piece chicken nuggets, all for just $10. It's perfect snack fuel for one, wherever and whenever you're cheering on the scarlet and gray. At BK, have it your way. You rule. Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Tax extra.
Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safelite Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at safelight.com. Safelight Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safelight Repair, Safelight Replace.
Now, the officials have been talking for quite some time.
All righty, let's see what they have to say.
Upon further review, there is no penalty on the play. However, we have conferred and discovered that Bob, the line judge, has saved a boatload for his kids' college using Ohio's 529 plan. It is tax-free, accepted nationwide. Bob recommends we all go to collegeadvantage.com. First down.
Well, that's not entirely unexpected.
Classic Bob.
They're trained. They're prepared.
Let's do it.
They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
AgPro has been family owned and operated for over 64 years. We take pride in developing long-lasting relationships and offering first-class customer service. Need a new tractor, parts for your used equipment, or reliable service? AgPro has you covered. AgPro is here to serve you and your operation as your hometown dealer. Visit us today at any of our AgPro locations or go online to agproco.com to get started with your AgPro experience.
When you're here, you understand what it means to be a Buckeye. And at Elk & Elk, we're proud to wear scarlet and gray every Saturday. Every client, every day, means if you're ever injured, we're proud to stand with you in court. And when you're here at the shoe, we're proud to stand with you and cheer on the Buckeyes.
Whether we're here at the big game or in court, we are committed to you.
Elk & Elk, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Your Ohio State flagship station, The Fan. You're listening to the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everyone, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show, presented by Burger King, where you rule. Skip Mossick in for Brandon Beam this week. Buckeyes are known for paying it forward. That's why Buckeyes Care strives to serve the betterment of our community by positively impacting families across Ohio. Join partners American Electric Power, Kroger, Donato's, the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the James Cancer Hospital, Huntington Bank, and WBNS-TV in Columbus in supporting this cause at ohiostatebuckeyes.com/BuckeyesCare.
It's time now for the Buckeye Roundtable Fast Break.
As we hit the hardwood now, former two-time Ohio State captain Ron Stokes. And Ron, the Final Four is now set. Have to start with the wild ending to the Duke-UConn game. So many things had to go right for Connecticut and conversely wrong for Duke there at the finish. Where would you put that on a scale of all the wild endings you've seen over the years?
It's clearly ranks up there as top five. And in recent history, number one, Skip. And as we've talked about all year long, when you have two evenly matched teams, more times than not, it's going to boil down to who is going to make the necessary plays, and it's against the best of the best going against each other. And you got to give UConn all the credit in the world. They had a mentality of not quitting, similar to what Ohio State had to face against TCU. They're down by a significant number at the half. And as Thad Matta has told us in many years, there's no such thing as a 19-point play, right? So what UConn did is what you needed to do. They slowly but surely chipped off at the lead, got it to when it was in a close margin, and of course made the necessary play at the end.
You know, Ronnie, we always hear that no matter the coaching, it's the players that make plays. We also know that players are human. I mean, all Duke had to do was hold the ball. I mean, not enough time for a 10-second violation. Take us into a player's mind as far as what you're thinking to do the correct thing in that moment.
Well, the first thing, you come out and you know all the important things, time, score, whether you have the timeout, who has the possession arrow. And clearly, in what I heard from UConn in postgame, they were actually trying to foul. Now, they did a poor job of it because they had two chances to foul, and it actually benefited them that they didn't foul. And then when you look at Caden Boozer, he just made a freshman mistake. I know that he's played, 30-plus games. He's not necessarily a freshman, but he is a young player playing at a major moment, and he made a mistake. All you have to do is either call a timeout, because the ball at that point, Skip, is the most important thing, right? You have the lead, you have the ball, less than 10 seconds. The team that's trying to defend you is desperate. Back it out. He tried to make a play over some width, some lanes. The ball got deflected, but we wouldn't be talking about this if the pass was connected. Ball game, Duke wins, survives, but they didn't. He didn't complete the play as the point guard. I'm sure he will not forget that for a long time.
Ron, 2 Big Ten teams make it to the Final Four. Let's start with Illinois. Many had Houston coming out of that region in their brackets. What were some of the things that impressed you with the Illini's run?
Well, they have a very deep team, and they have experience. And I know that when you look at it on paper, they have a number of guys that are listed as freshmen that are international. But as we all know, those young men have had the luxury of playing against men over in their respective countries. Right. So they're not your prototypical freshmen. So I think even though Illinois could be listed as a young team, I know Wagler is a freshman, but the other guys have had tremendous experience abroad. So I think their experience really helped. Obviously, their girth and their size was a big reason why they were able to win. But at the end of the day, they made the plays. They maximized their strength, which is rebounding, blocking shots, playing great defense. That's a very good Illinois team. I, too, had Houston getting to the Final Four. Obviously, I was wrong. I got the other 3 Final Four teams, but I missed on that one.
The team they beat to get to Indy was Iowa. But, man, how about the run by the Hawkeyes as a 9 seed?
That Iowa team we saw against, and this deep in the tournament, was the team we saw on the road when the Buckeyes could not find a way to score. Their defense has been the best all season long, one of the better teams in the country. And defense travels. Sometimes offense does not. And that's why Iowa was able to get to that game. And you got to give Coach McCollum a lot of credit. Their team bought into their defense. It was clearly their staple, and a big reason they got that far in the tournament.
We're chatting with Ohio State former 2-time captain Ron Stokes this evening, and talking a lot about the Big Ten teams in this NCAA tournament, Ron. Interesting side note to how Iowa even reached the Elite Eight. They basically get the game winner against Nebraska when the Huskers only had 4 players on the court. I mean, this wasn't Gene Hackman and Hoosiers. My team is on the floor. How does that happen? A really tough break for Nebraska.
Yeah, when you think about it, when you have guys that can make plays, and clearly they made all the plays that was necessary, right? They got it in the hands of who can make plays for them, and they got it to the great shooter, and they knocked it down. But you're right. When you think about it, though, you don't have enough guys out there. You kind of scratch your head, but you give Iowa credit for making the play.
Ronnie, the other Big Ten team to make it to Indy is Michigan. And, man, what a show they put on yesterday against Tennessee. We saw Michigan 3 times this season. When they play like they did yesterday, are they almost unbeatable?
Yeah, this is hard for me to say, but I have them winning the whole thing, Skip. Even despite not having Kaysen off the bench, I just thought that their front line, they have a large margin of error because they have so many different weapons. I think Cadeau has increased his shooting from long range. I think Roddy Gale has stepped up this game, understanding that Kaysen is not in the rotation. More is being required of him. Roddy Gale's not asked to come in and score 15 points per game. He's being asked to come in and fill his role, and he's done that on both ends of the floor. But Yaxel Lindenborg is a guy that loves the bright lights, and he continues to be the leader on that team, the vocal leader. He clearly came in his 1 year at Michigan, and he said it. He wants to go down as arguably the best Michigan team of all time. And if they win the title, I think they're going to have a lot of strong consideration in saying that.
Ron, there could have been a third Big Ten team reach Indy, but Purdue's run fell short to Arizona Saturday night. Talk about the Boilers, their run that came up just short. I mean, just unable to get much offense in the second half against a really good Arizona team.
You got to remember, Arizona, like Michigan, they've only lost 2 games, and that was in mid-February. They won, 14 in a row. Yeah. They have talent from top to bottom. I thought Purdue did a great job having a 7-point lead at the half. They did all the things that we saw day in and day out while they were in the Big Ten. But I really felt that Arizona wore them down. They had more talent, I think, from top to bottom. I thought they neutralized Purdue's front line. Trey Kaufman-Wren was straddled a little bit with the foul issues, he only had 2 rebounds. We know that Trey Kaufman is a better rebounder than that. And I thought they did a really good job. I thought their size impacted Braden Smith. It's one thing. He's a skilled player, but when you're time and time again, you find yourself being defended by 6'3", 6'4" guys with length, it made it problematic. He still was Braden Smith, but he was 4 for 15 from the field. And that was a big reason why they lost the ball game.
Ron, should be a great couple of games Saturday in Indy, Illinois and UConn, then Arizona, Michigan. Early in the week time to put you on the spot is how you think things might play out.
Well, I had UConn facing Michigan in the finals and Michigan winning it all. Okay. But when I look at the way this thing may turn, I'm still going to go with UConn. I just think that this Reed, I love him in the front line. He was a major factor why UConn was able to chip away at that lead. And I just think that with their shooting and their girth inside, I think it's going to match up with Illinois. So I'm picking UConn and Michigan winning the whole thing.
All right, Ronnie, last thing, Ohio State news. Devin Royal announced yesterday he's entering the portal. Just your thoughts on that move and how it affects Ohio State.
Well, you lose a guy that's been a part of the program for 3 years. So the big key for Coach Stiebler is that he's got to go out and find someone that is going to be equal to or better than what Devin Royal was projected to be. I really felt that if he got to the point where he was consistent in his game and his productivity, he had a chance to have strong consideration of being an all-conference performer. And unfortunately, Ohio State's going to lose that. But, the key now, Skip, like most teams will do, they got to look at who their core is. You thought Devin Royal would be part of that this year. He was last year when they brought he and Bruce Stewart and Junie Mobley back. Now the focus is bringing back Junie Mobley, bringing back Amari Bynum. You got a talented freshman come in. You got to go out in the portal and get 3 guys that can deliver. And correct me if I'm wrong, Skip, I don't think Ohio State has ever had somebody out of the portal make first, second, or third team all Big Ten. It'd be great if they can get that next year.
Real quick, a Central Ohio kid, you mentioned 3 years invested here at Ohio State. Were you surprised, I guess, by Royal's decision?
No, I'm not. I think in today's day and age, players, especially when they know that they have 1 year left, they get with their team, their influencers, the people that they trust, and they know that is probably one of the most important decisions to make. Devin Royal wants to play professionally. So if he doesn't feel that Ohio State is a place for him to grow and prosper, then he made the best decision for him. So I hope and pray and believe that if he picks the right place, then he can excel in that. But in today's environment, not surprised to see some players make the change, especially someone that's been in the program for 3 years.
Former 2-time Ohio State captain Ron Stokes. Ronnie, always love talking hoops with you. Enjoy the Final Four games this weekend, okay?
All right, Skip. Always a pleasure talking to you as well.
And as Ronnie mentioned in their news today, Amari Bynum announcing that he'll be returning next year to Ohio State. So good on that. Coming up, we will switch from men's to women's hoops as we chat with Tyler Danberg, play-by-play voice of Ohio State women's basketball, next as the Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
More of Buckeye Roundtable presented by Burger King coming up on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hello, I'm Ross Bjork, Senior Vice President and Eugene Smith Wolf Foundation Endowed Athletics Director at The Ohio State University. In partnership with AEP, Donato's, Kroger, The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, Huntington, and 10 TV, Ohio State Athletics strives to inspire the community to make a positive impact on children and families in our great state through the Buckeyes Care Initiative. Show and share your support in the community by using the hashtag BuckeyesCare.
Come on over to Heartland and join our family.
Now, getting ahead in this world is not as complicated as it might seem. Having the early guidance and counsel of your community banker, one who knows you and your family's story, can make a great deal of difference. Relationships matter. Bank on community banking. I'm Scott McComb, coming over to Heartland, where banking really feels good.
Where banking feels good.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, 2-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer both on and off the court. That's why Encova Insurance and their local independent agents are prepared for what's next and protect what matters most to you. Whether that's your home, car, business, or family, Encova's got your back with a policy that fits you perfectly. With local independent agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova's playbook is an easy win for your peace of mind. Basketball is full of challenging shots, and life can be too. With Encova, you don't have to do it alone. Your expert agent will guide you and provide insurance solutions so you can confidently manage your risk and count on a financially secure future. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you. Encova is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
Paul Keels here, voice of the Ohio State Buckeyes. You have to check out the brand new AAA Buckeyes MVP membership. Get all the benefits of AAA, such as 24/7 roadside assistance, plus chances to win tickets to Buckeye sporting events, access to exclusive MVP experiences, along with 10% off gear at the Ohio State team shop. Already a AAA member? Add the Buckeye MVP membership upgrade for free. Head to AAA.com/Buckeyes to join the squad and put your fandom in drive.
The great thing about Atlas Butler is they do it all. Heating, cooling, plumbing. Look, I'm busy with work. I don't have time to wait around or deal with lots of people. One company, one call, and they do it all. Wonder if they'll clean out my inbox. Seriously, offer that service. Please.
Atlas Butler is at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
AEP Energy wants to know if you're ready to say goodbye to higher rates and hello to savings. Get your energy costs under control by locking in a fixed rate for your electricity supply. You'll lower your bills and get price protection from rising rates. Take control and lock in a low fixed rate. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. AEP Energy is a competitive retail electrical and natural gas service provider and affiliate of Ohio Power Company, AEP Ohio. AEP Energy is not soliciting on behalf of and is not an agent of AEP Ohio.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
And welcome back, everybody, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show presented by Burger King. Were you rule? Skip Mossick in for Brandon Beam this week. For every Buckeye touchdown the football team scored this season, the Heartland Bank Community Foundation made a donation to the USO of Central and Southern Ohio, benefiting our active duty military personnel and their families. For more information or to support our troops, go to usocso.org. and be the force behind the forces. The Ohio State women's basketball season came to a close last Monday with Ohio State falling to Notre Dame in the round of 32, 83-73. Joined for a few minutes by Tyler Danberg, play-by-play voice of Ohio State women's hoops. And Tyler, now that we've had a week to kind of digest this, what went wrong in your mind for Ohio State last Monday after such an electric start to that basketball game that saw OSU jump out to that 11-0 lead?
Skip, great to be with you. I think Notre Dame's ability to solve the press and really have that extra level of effort to force turnovers and cash in off said turnovers, especially with a player like Hannah Hidalgo, I think that was the difference in that ball game. After Neil Ivey called that timeout about 2.5 minutes into the contest, it was a really good timeout because Notre Dame kind of had control of the rest of that game after Ohio State was flirting with momentum for the first start of that game. I mean, they came out raring to go. They were fired up, but then Notre Dame flipped that switch, and I think their ability to turn Ohio State inside out was really crucial. And you know what? It was a tough ending to the season for Ohio State, but I think Notre Dame proved that they were much better than a 6 seed with them making their way to the Sweet 16 and then falling to a really good, or to the Elite 8, and falling to a really good UConn team and giving them one of the best fights that UConn has faced all year.
Jelani Cambridge, 41 points, but boy, could she have used some offensive help. Is that the biggest area you see Ohio State needing to address for next season?
I think so, Skip. Kevin McGuff has said it many times. That team was at its best when everybody was scoring and when they had balance. And unfortunately for Jelani, that ties a career high. That'll probably be the least talked about 41-point game in college hoops this year. But, I mean, she was fantastic and really exemplary of just the season that she put together. I mean, when a freshman going into her sophomore year said the biggest thing for her is slowing the game down, when you're as fast as Jelani Cambridge, the maturity that she had to have to say that, and she did feel that the game slowed down for her. But I think that you're right. I think that they're going to have to look to try and continue to keep the help around her and add some more help. And Chance Gray graduating, Tiana Todd graduating, those will provide some different areas to try and bring into next year's roster. But you've got 9 returners coming in from last year's team, including 4 starters, which is going to be pivotal.
Final minute here, Tyler. Half the women's Final Four is now set with UConn and UCLA winning their regions yesterday. The other half will be decided tonight as Michigan faces Texas, while South Carolina goes up against TCU. What do you see happening this evening?
I think South Carolina takes care of business. I think that one is probably about a double-digit size margin. TCU is really good in the second half, and that's where their star All-American Olivia Miles has to do her damage in order for them to try and beat Dawn Staley's team. On the other end, Michigan and Texas is a really riveting matchup. Michigan, a smaller team compared to Texas. Michigan, a high-powered offense. Texas under Vic Schaefer. They always play great defensive basketball, and they're getting hot at the perfect time. And whoever wins that game is going to be a really interesting matchup for UCLA, because Michigan gave UCLA its biggest loss or toughest loss of the year. Texas defeated UCLA, their lone loss this year.
Tyler Danberg, we always appreciate you hopping on. Get ready to call some baseball this week, okay?
Can't wait, Skip. Thanks for the time.
All right, coming up, hour number 2 of our Buckeye Roundtable show presented by Burger King. Our Encova Insurance Archie Griffin High School Player of the Week Award will go hockey this week. The American Dairy Association Mideast top high school performances will go in the dugout. More from Tyler Danberg with Ohio State baseball coach Justin Hare, and we'll talk some football with Jim Lachey. So that and more, hour number 2 of our Buckeye Roundtable show here on the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State athletics.
AgPro has been family owned and operated for over 64 years. We take pride in developing long-lasting relationships and offering first-class customer service. Need a new tractor, parts for your used equipment, or reliable service? AgPro has you covered. AgPro is here to serve you and your operation as your hometown dealer. Visit us today at any of our AgPro locations or go online to agproco.com to get started with your AgPro experience.
Buckeye Nation, join us on April 12th at the 2026 Ohio State 4-Miler, presented by Union Home Mortgage, the Ohio Beef Council, and Raising Cane's. This is your chance to run down a tunnel and finish on the 50-yard line at Ohio Stadium. You can also get access to the home locker room and meet some of your favorite Buckeye student athletes. A portion of the proceeds benefit the Buckeye Cruise for Cancer. This is something you won't want to miss. Register today at OhioState4Miler.com. Go Bucks!
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint with their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind. It's a front row seat to the big game. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen, and so big you won't believe it. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint, and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Imagine yourself in a new Toyota, like the best-selling all-hybrid Toyota Camry. Now through March 31st, you can get 4.99 APR financing on any new 26 Camry. Or lease a new well-equipped Camry LE for just $269 a month for 36 months with $36.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS, tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
For over 37 years, Buckeye Nation has known Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse for serving the best steaks in the city. Our thick-cut, aged steaks are a staple in Columbus, with 3 locations in Upper Arlington, Dublin, and downtown. And just like the Buckeyes, we strive for excellence and an experience like no other. Hyde Park is proud to introduce the newly added wine room at our downtown Columbus location, where a new elegance in dining surrounds you, creating the ideal setting for any occasion or the perfect night out. Hyde Park is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks! Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium presented by Experience Columbus. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium tours offer a variety of options and pricing. For more information, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com and book your tour. Ohio Stadium Tours, presented by Experience Columbus.
Always and forever your Ohio State flagship station.
WBNS FM HD1 Columbus.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. At Ohio State, we are the never afraid to innovate teams. The agile, get it done teams. The achieve more together teams. And the improve people's lives teams. Together, we are the Ohio State University.
Learn more about Ohio State at osu.edu/impact.
Enjoy more ways to save at Kroger, like low prices in every aisle. And when you download the Kroger app, you can clip and save more with digital coupons every week. Plus, you can earn fuel points to save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. At Kroger, you can enjoy more ways to save and more rewards every time you shop. So it's always easy to save big every day with savings and rewards. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Savings may vary by state. Fuel restrictions apply. See site for details.
Good evening, I'm Jacob Reimer. Ohio State basketball news. Freshman forward Amari Bynum confirmed today that he will be returning to Columbus for his sophomore season. Bynum averaged nearly 10 points and 5 rebounds per game in his freshman year. The NCAA women's tournament will be down to the Final Four after tonight. 2 games starting in Fort Worth, with top-seeded Texas taking on Michigan at 7 o'clock, and Sacramento, number 1 South Carolina, meets TCU at 9 o'clock. In baseball, after taking 2 of 3 in the series with the Red Sox, the Reds are back in action hosting the Pittsburgh Pirates. They're currently underway at Great American Ballpark. The Guardians dropped last night's game to the Mariners. They will remain out west for a series with the Los Angeles Dodgers starting tonight. Parker Messick gets the start for Cleveland. First pitch is at 10:10. And in the NBA, the Cleveland Cavaliers are in Utah taking on the Jazz. Tip-off is at 9 o'clock. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King, is on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
And welcome back, everybody, into this week's show. Skip Mossick in for Brandon Beam this week. The Ohio State spring football game is coming up April 18th. We'll have a lot more on that coming up in just a few minutes. But right now, it is time to talk a little high school athletics.
It's time for the Ancova Insurance High School Player Award on Buckeye Roundtable.
One of the highlights of the Buckeye Roundtable show is the presentation of the Ancova Insurance Archie Griffin Athlete of the Week Award. During each roundtable show, Ancova Insurance and the Ohio State Sports Network honors a high school athlete for their outstanding play and team leadership. And tonight, we're going hockey. And this week's recipient is senior forward Teddy Frizzy from Gilmore Academy. Frizzy had a pair of goals to help Gilmore Academy defeat St. Ignatius 5-2 to win the state championship. Frizzy finished the season with 50 goals and 30 assists. The Lancers are coached by John Malloy, who won the State Coach of the Year award recently as well. But again, congratulations once again to Teddy Frizzy from Gilmore Academy, the recipient of this week's Ancova Insurance Archie Griffin High School Athlete of the Week Award. Ancova Insurance, a proud sponsor of Ohio State athletics.
Time now for the American Dairy Association mini statewide top performers on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
And since we were on hiatus last week for Ohio State women's hoops, we thought we'd go high school basketball as they wrapped up the season with the all-Ohio teams. We'll start with Division I Coach of the Year John Fiesel from Olentangy. First team Bryce Curry of Lakota West. Josh Tyson also of Lakota West. Meyer Gill from Cincinnati Princeton. Landon Evans from Pickerington Central. Xavier McKinney from Reynoldsburg. Jake Quackenbush from Newark. Trey Dexler from Brunswick, and Brian Vlosic from Lakewood St. Edward. So congratulations to all of those first-team All-Ohio kids in Division I. Division II Coach of the Year, Josh Hose from Massillon, Washington. Congratulations as well on the state title. First team, Isaiah Mack Russell from Cincinnati Winton Woods. Elijah McCree from Westerville North. Hunter Hirschberger from North Canton Hoover. Xavier Williams from Massillon, Washington. Stephen Skousick from Broadview Heights. Willie Foster from Lima Senior. Race Kowalczyk from Toledo St. John's. And Sean Foster also from Lima Senior. So congratulations to all of those in Division II. Division III Coach of the Year, Steubenville's Mike Haney. First team, C.J. Bailey of Tip City, Tippecanoe. Angelo Dialis from Columbus Centennial. Jockey Calloway from Columbus Bishop Hartley. J.R. Jackson from Alliance. Jalen Gunther from Youngstown Ursuline, also from the Youngstown area. Austin Brown from Cheney. Marcus Johnson from Garfield Heights. Santino Haney from Steubenville. Kalen Brooks from Mansfield Senior. Beckett Bertkey from Lima Shawnee. Manny Johnson of Toledo Central Catholic. And Adam Guthrie from Miami Trace. Congratulations into all of those and to the Division III state title going to Trotwood Madison this year. Division IV, the All-Ohio team. Coach of the Year, Evan Callahan from Circleville. First teamers, Brody Denny from Valley View. William Pigler from Kettering Alter. Keontae Smith from Dayton Northridge. Jordan Kaminsky from Heath. River Valley's Carter Myers. C.J. Ross from Ravenna. Jace Ricardo from Canfield. Theo Castro from Cleveland Glenville. Maysville's Gator Nichols, also the Player of the Year in D4. Braden DeVito from Shelby, and congratulations to Cincinnati, Wyoming on winning the D4 state title. Division V, the All-Ohio team. Coach of the Year's co-winners, Kyle Dack from Sullivan Black River and Drew Stevens from Ironton. First teamers, Drake Aarons from Versailles, Max Joyner from Cincinnati Summit Country Day, Jason Singleton from Columbus Academy, also Player of the Year in Division V. Austin Rowe from Leavittsville LeBray, Dylan Ziegler from Cleveland Heights Lutheran East, also congrats on the state championship there. Liam Goron from Keystone, Griffin Straub from St. Clairsville, Julian Washington from Constalia Margaretta, Walter Plants from Genoa area, and Ironton's Ashton Lane. So congratulations on all those for making first team. Division VI Coach of the Year, Caleb McClanahan from Portsmouth West. First teamers, Treg Segester from New Madison Tri-Village, also the Player of the Year in Division VI. Antonio White from Deer Park. Boston Pearson from Grandview Heights, Brennett Pyatt from Smithville, Carter Turk from Grand Valley, Dylan Schott from Caldwell, Bridgeport's Jaleel Vincent, Colonel Crawford's Braden Holt, Jordan Pretty from Lima Central Catholic, and Will Kegley from Portsmouth West. And congratulations to Highland on winning their state championships. And finally, in Division VII, Coach of the Year, Nick Ramos from Montpelier. First teamers, Shane France from Sidney Lehman Catholic. Austin Helmuth from Shekiah Christian, Jackson Carua from Westerville Genoa Christian, R.J. Walgate from Medina Christian, Colin Callagher from Columbiana Heartland Christian, Yomar Castellano from Fairport Harding, Tyler Bennett from Zanesville Rosecrans, Cameron Elwer from Delphus St. John's also won the state championship there at St. John's, so congratulations to them. C.J. Montpelier from Montpelier, C.J. Fiddler from Montpelier, and Reed Brinegar from Racine Southern. So congratulations to all first-teamers. Ohio High School Basketball Championships over in Dayton. Our top performers from around the state was presented by the American Dairy Association Mideast. A reminder from Ohio's dairy farmers, 8 ounces of delicious chocolate milk has 8 grams of protein with the power to fuel everyone, including Ohio State quarterback Tavian St. Clair. He's built like a Buckeye, and you can be too. Learn more at ohiostatebuckeyes.com/built like a Buckeye. Speaking of built like a Buckeye, that is Jim Lachey all day long. We'll talk some spring football with Big Jim next as tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
You're listening to Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Window Nation customers have been singing our praises for years. With fast local service and an industry-leading 96% customer satisfaction rating, it's no wonder.
I researched window companies for the last year to see what the average prices were and the quality of work. Window Nation nailed both.
Right now, get 4 windows free with every 4 you buy, plus no interest for 2 years. Hurry, this offer ends soon. Schedule a free estimate now. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com. That's 866-90-NATION.
Ready?
It doesn't matter if you're playing hard or working hard. Your workout only works out if you recover right. Chocolate milk helps you recover for what comes next. It's delicious and contains the right mix of protein and carbs to help refuel exhausted muscles. From biking to bench presses, Milk's protein helps you build lean muscle and gain more from your workouts.
Ready? Recover. Repeat. Brought to you by the American Dairy Association Mideast, a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Come on over to Heartland and join our family.
Now, where can you get a full suite of business banking services served up by well-trained, caring employees with unquestionable integrity? It's right here at Heartland. Relationships matter. I'm Scott McComb. Come over to Heartland, where banking really feels good.
Where banking feels good.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Life is more fun with a pal. So is pizza. So check out Donato's $5 Pizza Pals menu. Order any large pizza and add your choice of a sub, salad, wings, dessert, and more for just $5 each. Order your favorite $5 Pizza Pals from Donatos.com today. More toppings, more flavor, more fun. Donato's. Gotta love more.
Experience Buckeye game day like never before. Welcome to the 1922 Club, the most exclusive space inside Ohio Stadium, where luxury meets tradition in the heart of Buckeye Nation. Enjoy upscale food and beverages and a game day atmosphere like no other. Create lasting memories with friends and mingling with other Buckeye fans, and celebrate every OHIO in ultimate comfort. Become a member of the 1922 Club today. Memberships are limited. Visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com.
When you're here, you understand what it means to be a Buckeye. And at Elk & Elk, we're proud to wear scarlet and gray every Saturday. Every client, every day, means if you're ever injured, we're proud to stand with you in court. And when you're here at the shoe, we're proud to stand with you and cheer on the Buckeyes.
Whether we're here at the big game or in court, we are committed to you.
Elk & Elk, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Hear every Buckeye game every year. The Fan. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
And welcome back, everybody, into tonight's show. Skip Mossick in for Brandon Beam this week. Buckeye Roundtable is proudly presented by Burger King. Visit your local BK restaurant to grab your $10 O-Fry-O bundle. That includes a medium fry, 8-piece chicken fries, 8-piece mozzarella fries, 8-piece chicken nuggets, and a custom OSU crown, all for just $10 at your local Burger King.
This is the Elk & Elk Report on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
As we bring in Jim Lachey for tonight's Elk & Elk Report, injury lawyers dedicated to every client every day. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. And Jim, as we welcome in you and to talk some spring football, where do you think the biggest competition is in regards to the two deep here during spring ball?
Well, I think when you look at it, obviously the quarterback position with the returning starter and Julian Sand, that's going to be set. Now, Tavian St. Clair has stepped up and has really done some nice things in his second year with the program. You can see the growth that he's had in the spring practices so far. And, you know, certainly that'll continue throughout the spring game to see how he continues to develop. Justin Martin, more of a kind of the third-team guy right now, but again, a guy that's had a lot of reps underneath his belt, has done some nice things for him too. So I feel like they got strong at quarterback. I guess the depth at running back has been, you know, a little bit peculiar because the two starting guys last year, Bo Jackson and Isaiah West, you know, both those guys played a lot last year, but have shoulder injuries, are going to be rehabbing throughout the spring ball. So they're going to miss considerable time, but it's giving guys like Jacoby Jackson, who transferred in, an opportunity to really learn this offense and understand. And then the freshman, Legend Bay, a guy that they feel like can contribute this year at a lot of different places, whether he's lined up at slot or in the backfield or having him move around different spots on offense can really make some plays. And he has made some plays throughout the spring. You go next to the offensive line. Again, you got a lot of guys coming back, and that's good. Austin Ceraveld has played some left tackle. I got a feeling by the time it's all said and done, they're going to probably stick him at right guard. They've moved him around throughout spring ball, and he's played left tackle, and he has played some left guard the last week or so. So I think he's getting some reps there, which really makes you strong inside with returning starter Carson Hinsman and Luke Montgomery. Then you got Austin inside. That really gives you three stalwarts there at center and the two guard positions. Philip Daniels has been working at that right tackle position. I think he's going to continue to improve. I think there's a couple reasons why. Arthur Smith, a former offensive lineman, a new offensive coordinator, has really helped out with that. Tyler Bowen, obviously the offensive line coach, has done a good job working with him and changing up some of his techniques. And then they brought in Mateo Kambui, who has worked with Arthur Smith at Pittsburgh with the Steelers, and he's come in, and I think he's added some things to that offensive line. Just little technique things that makes you a little bit more physical, a little bit more knee bend, a little bit more punch, and make sure you're not getting straight legs, because when you get straight legs, you end up getting pulled over a little bit. And he's a long-legged guy anyhow, so I think he needs to step up a little bit. And then, with Austin playing some guard, you're going to probably see Ian Moore. Remember last year, Skip, he started against Indiana, and I thought he did a decent job in that ball game. Not Indiana, Illinois.
Illinois, yeah.
Played in that ball game, did some good things, and then had to come in when Austin Ceraveld was hurt. And he's a guy, I think, that is really, scratching the surface. He's got a chance to be a really good football player for us. And then you got some guys, competing in the backup spots to fill out that two deep on that offensive line. Tight end with Bennett Christian being a little bit nicked up, that's taken away a little bit what they want to do, for him. He's coming back from a shoulder injury. Nate Roberts is getting a lot of reps. Nick Lauder, a freshman, has really done some nice things for him. Brody Lemon, another guy. Then they got a couple transfers coming in that are going to continue to compete and add some depth to that position. And, let's face it, wide receiver, we're pretty much set there. Jeremiah Smith, Brandon Ennis continue to be two of the hardest workers on the team. Both those guys, Iron Buckeyes, which means that they're, some of the hardest workers on the team. Devin McCune has come in. Chris Henry Jr., the freshman that they really went after hard, has really played well. Brock Boyd, a freshman out of South Lake, Texas, I think has shown some good things. And so I feel like they got a lot of depth at that position.
Let's flip sides, Jim. Let's start to defensive line and then take us through linebackers in the secondary.
Well, I think when you look at the defensive line, it was good to get Kenyatta Jackson. Now, even though he's back, he's got to continue to improve. And I think that's, something working with Larry Johnson. He'll continue to do that. And, Larry Matt Patricia hired this guy named Joe Kim. Joe Kim is kind of a, pass rush guru, so to speak, does a lot of Tai Chi and different hand-to-hand combat type moves that he works with the defensive line. So I think they're going to get some specialization there. Because when you look at Coach Johnson, he talks a lot about, his getting off the ball first steps, second step, third step. This guy's, does that, but also adds some things in there. So I think those combinations with Larry Johnson and now Joe Kim in there as a, quality control offensive or defensive line assistant, I think he's going to add a lot to it. Zion Grady, we saw him last year. I think he's got to have a big year for Ohio State at defensive end. Claude Rousseau has really shown some things for us. And then Epi Sitan Ile has really, I think, has grown at that position. He gets off the ball quick. He's got good strength. You can see that he's added some strength in that weight room, got a little bit more mass. So he's a guy that I think is going to be, along with Bo Atkinson, another guy. He looks even bigger than he was last year, so he might end up playing a little bit defensive line if they go to a 5 technique, go to that 4-eye position where he lines up just inside the offensive tackle and yet strong enough to take on double teams and make some plays. So they got 4 or 5 ends that they can work with. And as you know, Coach Johnson, Larry Johnson, likes to rotate a lot of defensive linemen in here, and I think that will continue. Now, inside, Edric Houston was returning guy, Jason Moore, Will Smith. They added James Smith, a senior out of Alabama. Number 3 is a guy that I think is really good. John Walker, another senior defensive tackle with some good size inside. 2, he's been banged up a little bit, so we haven't really seen a full picture of what he can do. But I think when he gets to the fall camp, he's the guy that's going to emerge and, get some playing time for them. Linebacker-wise, Christian Allegro, we saw him when he played for Wisconsin. A tough kid. We all remember he broke his forearm in that game and ended up playing a lot without it getting casted up. Came out in the second half and then continued to play. So I don't think you have to worry about toughness when you think of Christian Allegro. He's going to come in and make some plays. And I think him and Peyton Pierce, along with Riley Pettijohn and T.J. Alford and, Garrett Stover, have shown some things. And then the freshman, Sincere Johnson. Let's face it, James Laurinaitis has done a great job recruiting that room, getting some quality players, and then developing those guys. You saw with Ohio State last year with Arvell Reese and Sonny Styles, two of the top, linebackers in the draft coming up right now. Both those guys go high, and a lot of that's, has to do with their ability, but also getting developed well. At cornerback, Jermaine Matthews is back, which is good. He's an excellent football player. They brought along his high school teammate, Cam Calhoun. He's the guy that's going to also compete for playing time. Devin Sanchez will probably be the other starter at that cornerback position. So he's the guy that's, added some, continues to get better. He played as a freshman last year. Now a sophomore year, he has to take that to his next level. And then, I think when you look at safeties, you got Jalen McClain, who's played well for us. They brought in Earl Little Jr. He's a guy that, again, has played a lot of football throughout his career. And then Terry Moore, a guy that has been a little bit nicked up last year. He had a knee injury, was out, but has really come back from that well.
Jim, back to the offensive side. You mentioned him, but new offensive coordinator Arthur Smith. I know we'll find out together, but what might look business as usual and what might look differently under Arthur Smith?
Well, I think what Arthur Smith is going to do is he's going to put the ball in the playmaker's hands, which obviously is the job of an offensive coordinator. First of all, you got to identify who can make plays for you, considering what opponent you're going against, who's going to win the matchups. And we know that Jeremiah Smith's going to win a lot of matchups, so I expect him to have a big senior year. I think when you look at Brandon Ennis, he's another guy that can compete and do some good things for us. But I think Arthur's going to, take what the defense gives you, understand what the defense is trying to do, and then, scheme around that, come up with some big plays. I think in the offensive line-wise, you'll see some changes as far as, the run blocking, techniques, getting to that second level, making sure you take care of that first level first, and then using those tight ends. This might be a year where we're in more 11 personnel, which means one back, one tight end, and then three wide receivers because we have such quality wide receivers out there. And I think our tight ends are obviously very talented for Ohio State, but last year you saw a lot of 12 and 13 personnel. I think Ohio State might, do that when they have to, but also, go to 11 personnel, which they've been a traditionally 11 personnel team. Chip Kelly did that a lot. You go to our former coordinators in the past, Kevin Wilson, they've done a lot of that 11 personnel, and I think Arthur Smith will do a little bit of that too. But I think, it won't be drastic changes because we've seen, Ryan Day is certainly going to have his hand involved in coming up with those game plans. But I think, he's going to add to that and then, be able to, if you go in a meeting and, Ryan says, hey, I don't like this, he'll defend it. You know what I mean? Instead of saying, hey, forget it, okay, I'll come up with something else. No, just because I say I don't like it, then you have to defend it. Why do you like it so much? I think Arthur, having the confidence of being a coordinator, being a head coach in the NFL, will say, hey, this is A, B, and C, why I like it, and that's what we're going to do it. Ryan's like, okay, we'll give it a shot then. So I think he's, comes in the room with a little bit more confidence. Not saying Brian Hartline didn't, but I just think in a first-year coordinator role, sometimes you just defer to the head coach. I think this will be a little bit more of a chess match with Ryan and Arthur coming up with some good schemes against each and every team we play.
Jim, obviously you played many years in the NFL, a former All-Pro. Just your thoughts overall as far as what we're seeing now with NFL experience and top NFL coaches now coming into the college ranks, specifically here at Ohio State.
Yeah, I think you got to credit Ryan Day for going first of all attracting that talent. Right, there's not a lot of coaches that have been head coaches, defensive and offensive coordinators in the NFL that would consider, going to the college game. They want to stay in that NFL, but, he's done a good job of identifying the coaches that he likes and then going out there and recruiting them, getting them to come here, pitching them to say, hey, this is what we need, and having those guys accept it. So, you got two of the best coordinators probably in the country, probably both those guys were coordinating at NFL teams, you would feel very confident in what you're going to put out there on a week-in and a week-out basis. And yet we have those here at Ohio State. So I think you got to credit, Coach Day. Some coaches, they're like, hey, no, I'm fine with this. I'll develop a coordinator. He's going to go out and find the most experienced guys he can and put each and every, player in the best position. So, you come to Ohio State, you're understanding, you're not only playing, the top college program, but you're getting schemes and getting coached by guys that coach at that next level. And we know that everybody that comes to Ohio State, down the line, their goal was to find an opportunity to play in the NFL. So this gives them some NFL-type coaching, and I think that helps them not only at the college level, but if they do get that opportunity, the next step to have some of that underneath their belt before they get there with some of the schemes and things that they like to run.
Jim Lachey, we always appreciate your time. Love talking football. We'll talk some more next week, okay?
Sounds great, Skip. We're looking forward to it.
All right, coming up, we will switch gears, talk a little baseball. Ohio State coming off of a weekend sweep at Minnesota. Good for them. We will hear from Ohio State coach Justin Hare next as the Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
This is Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safelite Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at safelite.com. Safelite Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safelite repair, Safelite replace.
Hey, Buckeye fans, are you thinking of consolidating your debt with a home equity loan? Union Home Mortgage wants you to know the average homeowner has over $200,000 of home equity available, and they can help you get access to your money quickly and easily. Go to UHM.com to get your cash estimate today. You'll score financial freedom with Union Home Mortgage, the official home lending sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Union Home Mortgage Corp is an equal housing opportunity lender. NMLS number 2229.
Cancer. For some, it's one of life's fiercest foes, but not at the James. While cancer hides, we hunt as a team like no other, giving patients access to the most advanced treatment options and sparking new hope. So if you just heard the words, "you have cancer," you should know this. We heard them too. And there's no better team in the nation to create a cancer-free world. The James at Ohio State.
They're trained. They're prepared.
Let's do it.
They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
American Electric Power is a proud sponsor of Buckeyes Care.
Hi, I'm Janelle Coleman with American Electric Power. At AEP, we're proud to support our communities, powering progress and creating opportunities every day. Our partnership with Buckeyes Care reflects a shared commitment to uplifting Central Ohio through service, connection, and care. Together, we are building a brighter future for everyone we serve.
The great thing about Atlas Butler is they do it all. Heating, cooling, plumbing. Look, I'm busy with work. I don't have time to wait around or deal with lots of people. One company, one call, and they do it all. Wonder if they'll clean out my inbox. Seriously, offer that service. Please.
Atlas Butler is at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
Always and forever your home of the Buckeyes. Home of the Buckeyes. The Fan. You're listening to the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everybody, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show presented by Burger King, where you rule. Skip Mossick in for Brandon Beam this week. Buckeye fans, power up and carbon down with AEP Energy and Eco Advantage, their 100% renewable energy plan for your home or business. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
It's time to talk Ohio State baseball. This is Buckeye Roundtable's In the Dugout with Coach Justin Hare.
Ohio State baseball coming off a great weekend, sweeping Minnesota in Minneapolis. They open a long homestand beginning tomorrow as we head inside the dugout. Our Tyler Danberg with Buckeye coach Justin Hare.
Justin, what did it take to sweep the Golden Gophers this weekend?
It took everything our guys had. I mean, they emptied the tank and multiple appearances by multiple guys out of our bullpen. We got really, really solid starting pitching. All 3 games, which was huge. Got us into the middle innings with a chance to win and be in the game all 3 games, and had some big swings from a variety of different guys, kind of up and down the lineup. So it was a total team effort, and a lot of fun and a lot of spirit and a lot of grit from our guys.
What was the energy level of your team on the trip back from Minneapolis to Columbus Sunday night?
If you were on our bus, around our guys, if there was a fly on the wall, you would just laugh, Like, our guys are so tight, obviously, spirits are sky high, starting to play a little bit more consistently. But, the biggest piece is they just have a lot of joy in being around each other, and playing, playing this game and playing for each other and sacrificing for each other. Yeah. So, I mean, spirits and vibes were definitely high, and they're just, for all the ups and downs through the first half of the year, man, they've stuck together and kept their spirit and their vibes really high.
Let's go back to Friday's 4-3 win over Minnesota, Justin. Gavin Kozneski, the starter, he struck out 10, going 5+. Ryan Zamora earned his first save with a game-sealing strikeout with a tying run on third, winning run on second. What was the story of that game in your eyes?
It was a tough day. It was a tough day. I think, because the temperatures were pretty challenging. It was like a real feel of 31 when we decided, yeah, man, let's go for it. The sun's out. We feel good about it. I think from the minute we decided that to 20 minutes later, it was cloudy. I think we were right at real feel of 29 when we started. I think we finished a real feel temperature of in the low 20s. It was just one of those grindy, challenging days. Our guys just didn't give in. They just, like I said, I think that mentality of who cares, man? We're out here, we're playing, we're here anyway. Let's hook it up and let's go. I think just permeated, kind of throughout our team, throughout the whole day. And Gavin really set the tone early. He had the breaking ball working. Lincoln McVicker came in and got a couple of big punch outs. Luke Carroll did what he, it was all of them, man, and for Zemo to come in and punch the guy out to end the game, it was just, it was high energy, man. It was a Friday night slugfest, man. Not a ton of offense, not a ton of, their starting pitching, Minnesota's starting pitching is really, really good. And so, man, it was just a back and forth. We'd get guys on, they'd get guys on, and it was just man, who's going to blink first, and our guys stood strong, and it was obviously a really fun way to play in the 20s.
No doubt. Saturday and Sunday, a 9-3 win Saturday, a 12-9 victory to secure the first Big Ten Series sweep for the Buckeyes since May of 2023. Offensively, what do you think clicked the most?
They just continue to mature in the box. They continue to hone their approaches. They know what their strengths are. They know what their weaknesses are. They're able to adjust as the other team's adjusting. I think Saturday we were able to. I mean, their Saturday starter is. I mean, he's 94 to 96 with 3 different pitches. I mean, and a ton of strikes. I mean, it's really, really high level stuff. And we were able to jump on him early. We got a 2-out base hit. Then we stole a base. Then a single and then a home run. And all of a sudden it's 3-0 with 2 outs in the first inning. And, the guy's pitching it to about a 3. So it's like, hey man, like you're probably not going to get a ton more, but like being able to cash in early, I think was really important. And so again, but then on Saturday or on Sunday, their starter, put up 4 zeros early. He kind of ran out of gas quickly. And so they went to the pen, and immediately when they went to the pen, our guys were on it and able to adjust, and we were able to scratch out a run and get a couple of zeros. And then, we were able to play long ball a little bit. I think we hit 4 home runs on Sunday. It went from, 25 degrees on Friday to 65 degrees on Sunday. It felt downright tropical for our guys. So I guess, with that heat increase in the temperature, heated up the bats a little bit, and our guys just kept scoring there in the middle and late innings and gave us enough cushion to finish that thing off.
Back-to-back sweeps for your team over 2 weekends. That means back-to-back sweepshakes. For fans that may not be familiar, what is the sweep shake and where did that begin?
Yeah. It began when we were coaching at Campbell probably 7 or 8 years ago at this point. Anytime, winning's hard, right? Like winning is hard. Sweeping somebody on a weekend is challenging. And so you get to Sunday and you're 2-0 and, the other team's going to fight like heck to not get swept and try to salvage a game. And if you don't match that energy, you're probably going to get beat. If you don't find a way, most Sunday sweeps are really, gritty, grimy wins, like the other team's fighting. You've got to match and overcome some of that energy. And so we were just trying to look for ways to, slightly incentivize, figuring out a way to finish off weekends when you have a chance to sweep. And so when we were in North Carolina, there's a place called Cookout that's got pretty good shakes. And so, we were on the road, I think, and just trying to grind to get going, not too unlike this team. We were off to a slow start and we had a chance to sweep somebody, man, and we swept, and we stopped at Cookout and got milkshakes, for the guys, and Sweep Shakes was born, and we've been running with it ever since. And unfortunately last year we didn't really get a chance to unveil that here in Columbus, and so first weekend, we were fortunate to sweep St. Louis and Pensacola, and we hit up a Culver's down there, and our guys loved it. Again, man, any little piece, any little extra motivation, any little push in the right direction, I think is positive. And it's just a fun little tradition that pregame on Sunday, our guys are like, man, it's for the shakes right here, man. Let's go. We gotta lock in, we gotta lock in. We got sweep shakes on the line, so it sounds silly, but it's just one of those things, man. I think that it keeps it fun, it keeps it energetic, and it gives us a little extra push as we're going into Sunday.
That's Ohio State baseball head coach Justin Hare. His team starting a 9-game homestand Tuesday versus Toledo at 6. Justin, thanks so much for the time, and enjoy those shakes.
Thanks, Tyler. Have a great day, man.
More shakes on the way, I hope. Coming up, we'll talk a little Buckeye golf. Ohio State senior Kari Hollenbaugh is down in Augusta. She'll be competing in this week's Augusta National Women's Am, which gets underway Wednesday. We will chat with Hollenbaugh next as Buckeye Roundtable continues.
More of Buckeye Roundtable presented by Burger King coming up on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, 2-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer both on and off the court. That's why Encova Insurance and their local independent agents are prepared for what's next and protect what matters most to you. Whether that's your home, car, business, or family, Encova's got your back with a policy that fits you perfectly. With local independent agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova's playbook is an easy win for your peace of mind. Basketball is full of challenging shots, and life can be too. With Encova, you don't have to do it alone. Your expert agent will guide you and provide insurance solutions so you can confidently manage your risk and count on a financially secure future. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you. Encova is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
Whatever happens today, plan to conquer it with a fresh cup of True Brew coffee. True North Convenience Store's True Brew coffee is a hot, flavorful gourmet blend created from coffee beans from around the world. Our brew is truly perfect for any time of the day. During October and November, enter for a chance to win free coffee for a year. Check the True Rewards app for details or find the mobile app in your favorite app store. Offer valid October 7th through December 1st. True North Convenience Stores. Fast, friendly, clean.
Buckeye Nation, join us on April 12th at the 2026 Ohio State 4-Miler, presented by Union Home Mortgage, the Ohio Beef Council, and Raising Cane's. This is your chance to run down a tunnel and finish on the 50-yard line at Ohio Stadium. You can also get access to the home locker room and meet some of your favorite Buckeye student athletes. A portion of the proceeds benefit the Buckeye Cruise for Cancer. This is something you won't want to miss. Register today at ohiostatefoursmiler.com. Go Bucks!
Buckeye fans, this is for you. Level up with the brand new AAA Buckeyes MVP membership. You'll receive all the benefits of AAA, such as 24/7 roadside assistance, plus chances to win tickets to Ohio State sporting events, access to exclusive MVP experiences, along with 10% off select gear at the Ohio State team shop. Already a AAA member? Add the Buckeyes MVP membership for free. Head to AAA.com/Buckeyes to upgrade or join the squad and put your fandom in drive.
AgPro has been family owned and operated for over 64 years. We take pride in developing long-lasting relationships and offering first-class customer service. Need a new tractor, parts for your used equipment, or reliable service? AgPro has you covered. AgPro is here to serve you and your operation as your hometown dealer. Visit us today at any of our AgPro locations or go online to agproco.com to get started with your AgPro experience.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State athletics.
Welcome back, everybody, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show. We told you we were going to have some fun this evening. We're presented by Burger King, where you rule. Skip Mossick in for Brandon Beam this week. Buckeye fans, take your game day to the next level with help from your neighborhood Giant Eagle. Stock up on your favorites from brands like Pringles, Cheez-It, and Coca-Cola, or choose from their delicious catering options. Giant Eagle is a proud sponsor of Ohio State athletics. Well, next week, the Masters is coming up down in Augusta, Georgia. Some of the many things that Augusta has done over the years to help grow the game include, not only the National Drive, Chip, and Putt competition, but also the annual Augusta National Women's Am, where some of the top women's amateur players from around the world are invited to compete each year. Ohio State senior Kari Hollenbaugh was there a year ago and will be competing again there this week. Kari, first of all, congrats on getting the invite once again. What do you take from your experience there a year ago when you made it to the weekend to build on for this week?
Yeah, I think just knowing the course a little bit better and kind of just being able to know where to hit the shots is really important going into your second time playing here. And course knowledge is definitely something that can help you make the cut especially. And I think I'm just going to go out there again with the mindset of trying to make the cut, but also trying to win and give myself the best experience that I can. And no matter how I play, it's just awesome to be here.
Again, this is such a neat event. The first two rounds are at Champions Retreat. The top 30 in ties make it to the weekend at Augusta National. Tell us about Champions Retreat. I know you just finished up practicing for the day. Tell us about that golf course. Obviously, you had success a year ago making it to the weekend.
Mm-hmm. Champions Retreat is definitely a long course, and the greens are normally pretty firm. I don't think they've gotten a lot of rain out here in a while, so I think that'll definitely be a challenge, holding the greens. And the greens are pretty decent size, so lots of lag putting and speed. But yeah, I think then going into if you make the cut, you play Augusta National, which is definitely, I think it's a scoreable course, but if you're not hitting it great, it can definitely beat you up. So I think Champions Retreat is great preparation for the conditions that you have out there at Augusta. And yeah, just the undulation and hills on both courses is definitely a challenge as well.
You know, Kari, we've talked to so many former players as far as Augusta National and course knowledge being so important, especially where you can't hit the golf ball. What do you take from last year's experience as far as knowing that, or is that just a bunch of talk?
Yeah, honestly, I think they're right. There are definitely places that you can't hit the ball. I think it's just the fairways are pretty generous out there, and there are a lot of speed slots that kind of will kick you down to the flatter parts of the fairways. But they're if you miss the fairways, you're in some trouble, and hitting it then on the green is very difficult from there. So if you can pick out some good targets off the tee and put yourself into good positions in the fairways, then you'll have the best chance of hitting it on the greens. And also I think where you miss around the greens is also just as important. There are mounds in front of a lot of the greens, so sometimes being long is honestly better than being short of those pins and having to chip or putt up the mound. So it just kind of depends on where the pin position is, and it's a lot of course management and planning out where you're trying to hit your shots.
We're chatting with Ohio State senior Kari Hollenbaugh, who's playing in this week's Augusta National Women's Am. And Kari, take us back to last year as far as what you remember about your round there at Augusta National there on the weekends, specifically holes where maybe you got a little offline, where you hit it where it's like, oh, man, why did I hit it over here, where it actually made you pay?
Yeah, I started off the round really well. I hit it into the fairway on the first hole, and that was probably one of the most nerve-wracking moments. I remember Annika Sorensen was like about 2 yards behind me on the tee box, and I just barely missed like an 8-footer for birdie, and felt pretty good. But it was probably one of my most up and down rounds of the year, and I just remember just a lot of bogeys and some birdies. I chipped in on 11 from a similar spot to where Larry Mize was, and the roar of the crowd was awesome to hear. And then I ended up hitting it into the water on 12, and so that was kind of heartbreaking, but I mean it happens a lot on that hole. And then I think I hit it near the green in 2 on 13 and chipped it to around 3 feet and made birdie on that hole. So it was definitely just got to see the whole course in the last day, which was kind of fun. And birdied the last hole, made a 12-footer for birdie on 18, and got to walk off on a high note, which was probably the best moment out there.
Kari, we've talked with former Buckeye John Cook about this many times. He was saying that, he can take a golf ball out there and place it at any location on any of those 18 greens at Augusta National and guarantee that none of us amateurs would be able to two-putt. Which are the most challenging greens out there that many of us seeing it on television throughout the years would be familiar with?
I think hole 6 it's a par 3. Yeah, that's the hole where I've seen the most torture. I think there's a huge mound in the middle of the green, and if you're kind of putting from the left side trying to get it to the back right hole location, I've seen a lot of people like just kind of not get it up there, and it rolls all the way back down, and there's not a lot of room behind the pin either. And so if you hit it too firm, you could putt it off the green on the other side as well. So yeah, that one's the tough one.
How about the caddy situation? Are you allowed to take a caddy? Can you pick your own caddy? Are you assigned a caddy by the club? And I guess how much is local knowledge in regards to having somebody help read those greens?
Yeah, I took a local caddy last year, and it was very helpful. Just knowing the yardages even on the holes, like how far they actually play and the elevation changes, because you're not allowed to have a rangefinder. So just knowing the uphill, the add-ons that you have on each shot. And then but this year I decided not to take a course caddy. and I'm going to take my boyfriend Joe Wilson on the men's Ohio State team. So I think that'll be fun, and it'll just allow me to kind of enjoy the experience. And it'll just be a fun week, and we won't try to think too much about the score and just enjoy our time out there.
No fighting if he gives you the wrong number, okay?
Yeah.
Kari, you mentioned the yardages out there. That's something that a lot of people ask about is, how is Augusta National set up for this event versus what we're used to seeing for the Masters on television here in another week or so? And is it comparable to what you see as far as a women's collegiate championship golf course, yardage-wise, week in and week out?
Yeah, it's very similar. There are definitely holes that play a lot longer if you don't hit your tee shot in the right place, and so that's definitely important. And it doesn't play super long if you're really striking the ball really well. And but yeah, it's very similar to the length of most college tournaments that you play, around like 6,400 yards. But yeah, it's a great test of golf, and I think it's just putting your tee shots in the right place will give you a shorter shot in.
Again, Ohio State senior Kari Hollenbaugh, who will be competing this week in the Augusta National Women's Am. Kari, Buckeye Nation will be pulling for you. Play well, okay?
Thank you. Go Bucks.
I would never be taking my college girlfriend to caddy for me if I had a chance to play Augusta National for what they're playing for. That's unbelievable. Cool stuff there. Coming up, we will wrap things up around the Block O as tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
You're listening to Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
AEP Energy wants to know if you're ready to say goodbye to higher rates and hello to savings. Get your energy costs under control by locking in a fixed rate for your electricity supply. You'll lower your bills and get price protection from rising rates. Take control and lock in a low fixed rate. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. AEP Energy is a competitive retail electrical and natural gas service provider and affiliate of Ohio Power Company, AEP Ohio. AEP Energy is not soliciting on behalf of and is not an agent of AEP Ohio.
Now, the officials have been talking for quite some time.
All righty, let's see what they have to say.
Upon further review, there is no penalty on the play. However, we have conferred and discovered that Bob, the line judge, has saved a boatload for his kids' college using Ohio's 529 plan. It is tax-free, accepted nationwide. Bob recommends we all go to collegeadvantage.com. First down.
Well, that's not entirely unexpected.
Classic Bob.
Hey, Ohio State fans! Next time that snack craving hits, Burger King has you covered with the O-Fry-O bundle. You get a medium fry, 8-piece chicken fries, 8-piece mozzarella fries, and an 8-piece chicken nuggets, all for just $10. It's perfect snack fuel for one, wherever and whenever you're cheering on the Scarlet and Gray. At BK, have it your way. You rule. Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Tax extra.
Window Nation customers have been singing our praises for years. With fast local service and an industry-leading 96% customer satisfaction rating, it's no wonder.
I researched window companies for the last year to see what the average prices were and the quality of work. Window Nation nailed both.
Right now, get 4 windows free with every 4 you buy, plus no interest for 2 years. Hurry, this offer ends soon. Schedule a free estimate now. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com. That's 866-90-NATION.
Abbott in the Big Ten. 18 schools. One blood drive competition with a life-saving purpose. We give blood. This season, your one donation helps save up to 3 lives. And together, we saved over 200,000. But the need for blood never stops. So keep your sleeves rolled up. Keep giving blood. Keep saving lives. Visit big10.org/Abbott to donate.
Enjoy more ways to save at Kroger, like low prices in every aisle. And when you download the Kroger app, you can clip and save more with digital coupons every week. Plus, you can earn fuel points to save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. At Kroger, you can enjoy more ways to save and more rewards every time you shop. So it's always easy to save big every day with savings and rewards. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Savings may vary by state. Fuel restrictions apply. See site for details.
Imagine yourself in a new Toyota, like the world's best-selling vehicle, the all-new, all-hybrid 2026 Toyota RAV4. Now through March 31st, get 4.99 APR financing on a new RAV4. Or lease a well-equipped RAV4 LE for just $299 a month for 36 months with $39.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS, tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Buckeye football lives here. The Fan. You're listening to the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State athletics.
Welcome back, everybody. A lot of fun tonight. Buckeye Roundtable presented by Burger King, where you rule. Skip Mossick in for Brandon Beam this week. Buckeye Roundtable is brought to you in part by Anduril, transforming defense capabilities with advanced technologies. Anduril, official sponsor of Ohio State athletics.
Time now for Buckeye Roundtables Around the Block O.
Lots to try to squeeze in here. Reimer, you'll love these. How about the Ohio State's pistol team wins their 6th consecutive national championship? Pistol.
Oh my gosh, that's a dynasty right there.
And who they beat, I don't know if they feel good or bad about this. They beat Army and the rest of the service academies.
Oh, no.
So Ohio State, congratulations to them. They are the pistol national champions once again. Softball, after a week with 16 strikeouts and a standout 0.30 ERA, freshman pitcher Jenna Malk was named Big Ten Co-Pitcher of the Week, so congratulations to her. Buckeyes swept Michigan State over the weekend. They've won 5 straight. They will host Bowling Green in Dayton midweek before heading to Minnesota coming up this weekend. How about the Ohio State tennis team? 2nd ranked in the country. They continue to roll. They crush Northwestern and did really just dominate both singles and doubles. Up next, Ohio State will travel west to face UCLA Friday and then USC Sunday in L.A. Swimming and diving, the Buckeyes placed 13th at the NCAA Championships. 4 Buckeyes earned All-American honors, so congratulations to them. Track and field, the Ohio State track and field team competed at the Raleigh's Relays in Raleigh, North Carolina this weekend. The Buckeyes' final day was highlighted by a personal best from Sophie Bidwell in the women's hammer throw. You throw the hammer, Reimer? You throw the hammer?
Absolutely, I do.
Well, you can throw it. I don't know if you can throw it as far as what Sophie would. She advanced to go on to secure 8th place finish after recording a distance of 57.78 meters, 198.7 on her final attempt of the day. That is incredible. So congratulations to her. But seriously, congratulations to the Ohio State pistol team, national champions, 6 consecutive years. Final 4 this weekend, Reimer. Who you got in the 2 semis coming up on Saturday?
It would be very interesting if we get an all Big Ten final to end that drought. There's actually a lot on the line here. First, to try to end the Big Ten drought, a team that hasn't won west of Texas since 1997, and UConn could be going for their 3rd in 4 years. I'm going to go UConn and Arizona, though.
Still can't get past that UConn Duke the way that they ended last night. That was unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Jacob, great job. Thanks for everything coming up tonight. Buckeye Roundtable presented by Burger King has been brought to you statewide by Encova Insurance, the American Dairy Association Mideast, Window Nation, and by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers. For our producer tonight, Jacob Reimer, I'm Skip Mossick. As always, thanks for listening. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State athletics.